I'm Jay from the Kubz Scouts. Welcome back to another episode of reacting to scary animations and just having a good time with you all. You are all loving this series. I am too. It's one of my favorite series to do. We are actually... Ow! I hurt my elbow. We are going to react to some animations in today's episode. If you guys are cool with that and you're down with that, everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go! Oh, and I almost forgot to mention we are going to react to videos from Wansee Entertainment. They are putting out some bangers lately, so go check out their channel in the description box below. But the first video we're going to check out is called Someone Was Beside Me While I Was Sleeping. That's never good.
When I was 10 or 11, my cousin and aunt visited us. We had fun throughout the day, and my aunt and cousin decided to sleep at my other aunt's house before leaving early in the morning. After such a fun day, I insisted upon sleeping at my aunt's house too, so I could spend more time with everyone. Later that night, we all fell asleep in the guest room, the only room that was available for us. I woke up suddenly at 5 a.m. I heard my mom and other aunt talking, so I was definitely awake. I saw that my cousin and aunt's things weren't there anymore, so I assumed they'd already left. I was about to fall back asleep. I looked at my left and saw someone sleeping beside me. I was about to hug her, thinking it was my 21-year-old girl cousin.
Why would you want to hug your 21-year-old girl sleeping cousin? What is wrong with you, you freak of nature?
But then I saw her face. She wasn't my cousin at all. She was someone I didn't know. But she looked about the age of my cousin. She wore pajamas and a black shirt, and all I could do was stare at her. She started doing strange things, stretching her legs up and down, and just focusing on the ceiling.
Bro, she's flexible.
It was all so odd.
Damn.
But feeling tired, I eventually drifted off to sleep.
Why would you drift off back to sleep when someone's doing mattress gymnastics all up in your shits? How could you go back to sleep?
Like nothing had happened. I woke up at 8 a.m., looking at my left, and she was gone. I told everything to my mom and every family member in the house.
Mommy,
but no one knew what I had experienced, or who the girl was. My dad told me that my third eye was starting to see more, but I didn't really believe that.
Bro,
I'm
I got
turning
your third eye right
now,
here.
And that experience still remains a mystery to me. It never happened to me again.
Oh.
And hopefully
Just a girl with some DSLs. Oh, that was it. Wow. Okay, so little girl thought that her cousins and her aunt were just in the room with her. Turns out it was a girl doing some crazy ass shit right there. If you guys have ever experienced something like that, please let me know. Next video of today's episode is called Creepy Abandoned Building Horror Story Animated. And I told you guys that sometimes I might have relatable stories to the videos we're watching. And I actually have been in a creepy abandoned building when I used to live in Japan. And yes, I used to live in Japan. That's a story for another video. But when I used to live in Japan, there used to be a ton of buildings that were just abandoned. Like, it had nobody in there. There was no door, so you could just walk in and out. There was tape, you know, to keep you out of it, like caution tape. But come on, man, I'm a rebel, you know? So me! But usually it was empty, like my love life when I was a young kid. So nothing happened, but I have been inside abandoned buildings, and we made it creepy. Like, our own imaginations made it creepy. But I don't even know why I told you guys that. Like, do you guys even care? Let's just begin the video.
This happened a few weeks ago.
Whoa, new narrator.
I live in California.
What's up, my guy?
And have always been good friends with this kid named Ethan.
I don't trust that face. Ethan looks like a good no shit weasel.
We had all the same interests, so we got along great. But that's besides the point. There's this old abandoned house a few blocks away that has been vacant for years.
Well, I mean, if it looks like that, of course it's gonna be vacant for years, you asshead.
I have no idea why it was never fixed and sold. The point is, it's abandoned. All the neighborhood kids are always telling rumors
like
about
no
the
hairs
place.
on his chin.
And to be honest with you, I never thought they could be true. The house was creepy as fuck, though.
I did not expect him to say that. Hold on, we gotta go back. I did not expect him to say that.
Creepy as fuck, though.
The house was creepy
So one
as
night,
fuck, though.
while Ethan was staying at my house for the night,
That's my guy.
we decided to sneak out at like 1 a.m.
Yeah!
to explore the place.
I'm loving this.
We brought along our phones for flashlights and to record.
Yeah.
So
got
we
the
rode our
rubbers?
bikes down the block and found the house. It was 2 stories high and made of brick, with broken windows and an overgrown lawn.
Is that somebody's shadow, or is that just a dirty window? That's a head right there. That's a body. You got me messed up.
Basically all the natural traits of an abandoned house. Ethan and I hid our bikes in a bush and went around the backside.
Okay.
Oddly enough, the back door was unlocked.
Uh-oh, creepy.
One of the rumors is that local homeless people, drug addicts, and gang members all hang out here. So the fact that
knives
someone
just ready.
seemed to have been here kind of freaked us out. Inside, it smelled like shit.
I'm loving this narrator. Hold on, I gotta see who this was narrated by. Story submitted by Liam Egg. Who, narrated this? That is so dope. This guy's awesome.
It was so dark that if it weren't for our flashlights, we definitely wouldn't have been able to see anything. We walked through what appeared to be a kitchen, around through a living room, into a foyer.
Uh-huh.
Just as we were about to go upstairs, there was a sudden, loud thump.
Ooh,
Ethan and I both
that
jumped
would
and
make me
stood
shit
frozen.
inside of my own insides.
Dude, I think someone's up there.
No.
I whispered to Ethan. Yeah, no kidding. He said back, let's check it out. Dude, are you fucking crazy? I said. But Ethan either didn't hear or ignored me,
Ethan
as
got
he was
Stone
already
Age
halfway
balls.
up the stairs.
What a trooper.
As much as I did not want to go up there, I decided to anyways because there was no way in hell I was staying down in the dark alone.
Leave the
Got
house.
upstairs,
Duh.
heard an identical
Idiot.
thump down the hall. Holding up my phone to continue recording, I reluctantly followed Ethan down there. We approached the doorway and glanced through to see someone standing by the window.
Oh!
It was so dark, all we could make out was a brown sweater he was wearing.
Shit, Brown?
We knew he had to know we were here
Who is you?
because we had already
Who
shown
is
the
you?
flashlight on him. Ethan began to cautiously walk towards the guy.
Why would you do that?
I stood back by the doorway.
What is your
Ethan
problem,
walked
dude?
up to the guy, strained his body to look at his face, and screamed.
What?
He shoved the guy, who fell to the floor, stiff
Oh,
like
that wasn't a real
statue,
guy?
and grabbed my shirt collar as he tugged me away from there. I dropped my phone as we nearly trampled each other running down the stairs and out the back door.
Of course you left your
Got
phone.
on our bikes and pedaled fast as possible back
Of course
home.
you left the only shred of evidence inside
Apparently,
the house.
when Ethan had walked up to the stiff man, he realized that the man was some sort of taxidermied human, with
No.
black sockets where his eyes had been taken out. At the same time, he heard a crack in the floorboards from across the room, and saw the silhouette of a man huddled in a dark corner watching him.
No.
We had the nerve to go back to the house a few days later to try and find my phone. But it was gone, as the taxidermied human and whoever was in that house. We didn't dare report it to the police for fear of getting busted for breaking and entering and sneaking out at night. I know, I guess that sounds stupid now. Ethan and I are still great friends in high school, and this memory is still one we will never forget for as long as we live.
Okay, I have 4 things to say about that video. Reasonable, logical explanation. Everybody hear me out. 1, the thumping they heard could have been like a raccoon. It could have been a possum. It could have been like a wild animal that snuck in through the back, went upstairs to try and find food or a place to sleep, and then it just either bumped into the wall or just made a loud noise that caused that thumping sound. 2, somebody knew that that place was abandoned and they put a mannequin up there, and then the kid probably thought it was a taxidermied human and then couldn't really make out the facial features because it was dark. So he filled the rest of the gaps on the mannequin in his mind and thought it had no eyes and it just looked all weird. And 4, the person that he saw in the corner, sometimes when we're so scared, we have an overactive imagination. He probably saw something in the corner, but it wasn't really there, so that was all in his mind. And I actually have one more thing to say about that video. That narrator was dope as fuck. Next video of today's episode is called True Hotel Shower Horror Story Animated. I'm actually excited to see this, and not because it's a hotel shower thing. only because showers are already creepy. Sometimes when you just have like a very active imagination, you don't want to shampoo your hair or wash your face with both eyes closed because you think something's coming up. Well, something's coming up in this. So let's see.
This happened a few months ago when my family and I were driving back from my aunt's house in Carmel. The sun was slowly starting to set as we continued driving. As my mom started to get tired of driving, my dad spotted a nice-looking hotel that was pushed back in the forest.
I have to say, this narrator has a very calming voice. I'm already into it.
My mom pulled over and we walked towards the hotel. The place seemed nice, but I had a bad feeling about the hotel. My dad asked the lady at the front desk if there were any spare rooms that we could stay in for the night. The lady surprisingly said yes, but that our shower was broken and that unfortunately they wouldn't be able to fix it. But she said we could use the community showers on the second floor. We took
That's
the
never a
elevator
good
up to
idea.
our room and set down our things. I decided before I went to bed that I would use the community showers. As I walked to the showers, I realized that they were much different than normal showers. To start off, there was a door connecting the boys' community showers to the girls' community showers.
Ooh,
Secondly,
that's
instead
already a
of
no
shower
bueno.
curtains, they had glass doors. So much for privacy. As I looked around, I realized the showers were completely empty. I thought to myself, if I took a quick shower, then I wouldn't have to worry about anyone walking in. I hopped in and washed myself. As time went on, the glass started to get very foggy and I couldn't see anything outside. I heard the door that connected the boys' showers to the girls' showers open. Why the hell would a boy want to come in here? Since I couldn't see anything, I decided to wipe my hand on the glass to get rid of the fog. As I did that, I saw a homeless man in his mid-40s.
Oh god, that is
with his
so
face
freaking
directly on
scary!
the glass, looking at me with a smirk. As I looked down, I saw he was holding a large kitchen knife. I screamed and I opened the glass door as fast as I could, knocking the guy to the ground. I quickly grabbed a towel
shit.
and ran out. I ran to our room and told my parents what happened. They immediately called the police and they arrived and searched the showers. They found him knocked out in the same position I had knocked him out in. Apparently, he was a registered sex offender and even went as far as to raping a girl my age. They arrested him and I'm not sure what they did after that.
Oh, that
This
is
story
terrifying.
still terrifies me to this day, and I never went back to the hotel in fear that I might see him again.
That was actually really good. That was actually really good. I like that one. Next video of today's episode is a CSGO horror story. I have no idea how this is going to play out, so let's check it out.
When you think of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the last thing you'd think of was a horror story.
Yeah.
But yet, here I am. It was the summer of 2014 and I was bored and home alone, so naturally I hopped on CSGO.
Yeah.
I went to Dust Online to play some casual. It wasn't a very busy lobby, there was about 5 people on each side. I joined Terrorists, where I quickly discovered the only other person with a mic was a guy whose name was something like Smarties McFlurry. He sounded a lot older than me, I was 14 at the time. His name was Dave and we got along well and we played good together since we had the same number of skill.
That tongue out though.
We eventually
like Michael
played
Jordan,
more CSGO
okay.
together and then friended each other on Steam. After that, he asked for some of my social media and I gave him my Discord and Snapchat. Then on
What a guy.
CSGO, Dave suddenly said he had to leave and we could play more tomorrow. So I got off and watched some TV and eventually went to sleep on the couch.
The hell are you watching?
I was home alone for the night. At like 1 a.m., I awoke and got a glass of water. Then I heard a Snapchat notification from my phone.
Why is his curtain
Curious
opening?
as to who was sending snaps at this time of night, I picked it up and saw it was from Dave. I opened
Not a
it,
dick pic,
and
not
it
a
was a
dick pic,
picture of my
please.
front lawn and house. The phone and the glass of water fell from my hands to the floor, and my heart began to race. I was suddenly frozen, as if rooted to the spot. The darkness around me seemed to become thicker, and I swear I was seeing shadows all around me. Then I heard a knock at the glass. I turned to the back window, and there he was, the Dave guy, who looked a lot older and creepier than me.
What did you
Without
do to him
thinking, I
online,
ran
my
to the back
guy?
door, locked it. I also locked the front door. I could hear him calling to me through the window. Then I proceeded to run to the only windowless room, the bathroom. I stayed in there for about an hour, shaking and fearing the worst. I dreaded hearing the sound of Dave calling me again, a knock at the door, or even footsteps outside. I don't know how long it was before I fell asleep. The next morning, my parents arrived home, and I hesitated to tell them about my experience. I knew they would drop shit on me, but it wasn't just that. I was questioning whether or not I was dreaming when the Dave guy appeared at my house.
Why would you be dreaming?
I knew I had not been dreaming playing CSGO with him, though. However, when I checked my phone, it was like he didn't exist. He was not on my friends list in CSGO, his Steam account was gone, his Discord was gone, and even his Snapchat was gone. All deleted. To this day, I still question my sanity about whether or not this Dave guy who I played CSGO with really existed. I know for sure we had chatted on the game, on Discord and on Snapchat, but had he really come to my house? And why were all of his online accounts deleted? I really don't know.
Whoa. That is actually so interesting. Mostly because we've all interacted with people online. Like, I'm sure all you guys at home have 1 or 2, maybe even 10 friends that you haven't even seen in person, that you have talked to online, and you guys are considered friends. You guys send each other Snapchats, memes, stuff like that. I've talked to a lot of people that I've never even seen in person, and some of them are creepy. They say some things that make me go, this is not normal. But yeah, guys, if you have any stories of people that you've interacted with online get super, super weird, let me know down low in the comments below, because I want to read that. Next video of today's episode is called My Grandmother is Haunting.
One day I was showering. My sister came into the bathroom and said, "Don't open the curtains." She said that her friend was going to use the bathroom because she couldn't hold it any longer. I said, okay. I knew someone was there because I heard noises. Then I heard the door close, so I came out of the bathroom. I asked my sister which one of her friends came, and she answered, "No one came over. What are you talking about?" I got chills and I started to freak out. About 2 months later, I was sleeping in my parents' room with my mom and dad, because I was scared to sleep alone in my own room.
Okay.
I woke up in the middle of the night. I sat down on the bed, and then I saw something truly horrifying. I saw a lady in all white standing near the bedroom door,
thanks.
just watching me.
No thanks.
I screamed
off
and my
that.
parents woke up. They asked me what happened, and I pointed at the lady that scared me. They asked me what I was talking about because there was no one there.
Oh, God.
I pointed toward its
hate that
direction
so
and said that there's a
much.
lady right there. My dad got up to turn on the lights. He walked right through the lady.
Oh, I hate that so
As
much.
soon as he turned on the lights, the lady disappeared. We moved about 3 months later.
Oh, God.
When we were
I hate stuff like
unpacking,
that, man.
I saw a picture of a lady. She looked familiar. When I remembered where I saw her, I got chills. It was the lady I saw when I woke up in the middle of the night. I asked my dad who was the lady in the picture. He told me she was my grandma. He also told me she died when he was 23 years old. My dad was now at the age of 41 when he told me.
Oh.
I got really scared after that.
Yeah, I would be too.
Now when I wake up in the middle of the night, I try my best to go straight back to sleep.
Bro! Last video of today's episode is called True Terrifying Horror Story Animated.
I was driving home
Let's
from
figure
work
out what
one
this
night
is all
around
about.
9 p.m. midweek, so the roads were quiet. As I was driving downhill, I heard a sound that was like a jet engine roaring behind me. The next thing I know, a car goes flying past me going twice the speed limit. It looked like a fairly old and crappy car, and the car started to get the speed wobbles. Then one of the tires came flying off and rolled at high speeds downhill while the car spun out and crashed. I stopped my car to make sure whoever was inside was okay. A guy got out of the car and looked over at me, and then started moving extremely quickly towards me.
He's all smiling and crawling.
I don't know
Creepy
why,
ass dude.
but I hit my internal locks on the car, which was fortunate.
Good.
Because no more than 2 seconds later, The guy started grabbing at the driver's side door and smashing on my windscreen with his fists trying to get in.
Let me the fuck in!
I'll never forget the look he had in his eyes. I put my foot down on the accelerator and drove off back home. I decided to swap cars once I got home and drove back to see what was going on.
What is the difference?
I saw 2 fire trucks and about 4 police close to where the incident happened.
Why would you switch
When
cars?
I got back to the
so
crash
he wouldn't
site,
see you or something?
the guy was no longer there, so I decided to head home. The next day at work, I was online and bored reading the news when I saw an article that shocked me. The article was about a guy who had been in a police chase for 1 hour, and the police stopped chasing him because it was becoming too dangerous. Turns out the guy was high on meth, had stolen a car an hour's drive away, and had been in a hot pursuit since. After crashing the car, the guy apparently crossed to the other side of the road and hailed the first car that appeared, which was a taxi. He got into the taxi and stole it. In the process, he pushed the driver out of the driver's side door, and the driver got stuck and dragged at speeds. The driver died from the incident. I called the police and had a detective assigned to me.
Dude, the
He
animation in this
fingerprint-checked
video
my
is
car
so
and got a
good.
statement. I had to testify in the Supreme Court as a key witness in a murder trial.
But you didn't even see anything, though. You were there. He was trying to steal your car, and then you drove off. You didn't actually see anything. That's what a witness is for, right? Well, I guess you did see him when he crashed his car, but you didn't actually see the murder take place. You know what? Let me just shut up. Let's continue. I'm not a lawyer.
The guy got 30 years, and they told me that my testimony was one of the main factors in convicting him. I often think back to that night and wonder if I hadn't locked my doors, would I have been the one who got murdered?
No. You wouldn't have. Because the guy died because he hung on the side of the car, right? And he was trying to, like, not let that guy take his taxi. I guess it makes sense that he was a witness to confirm that he was the guy that specifically crashed that car. Then they could link him to crossing the street and then stealing the taxi. But I don't think that the witness guy would have died because he wouldn't have hung onto the door handle of the car. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I just play games that have to do with lawyers. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of us watching scary animation. Shout out to Wansee Entertainment for coming through in the clutch again. Check out their channel if you want to see their full library of animations. But if you guys want to see more of this series, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like. And tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude!